Changing Paradigm with New IT in Modern Workplace, and a fantastic panel of experts.
Yes.
We have Diva Dayal, Managing Director of Sentinel One, and Mr. Harnath Babu, Chief Information Officer at KPMG. They'll be discussing how cloud analytics, AI, and cybersecurity, lots of you have been asking these questions. These are driving growth and keeping business ahead of the curve in these uncertain times. Panel discussion will be moderated by Shalil Gupta from Mint. May I have the two panelists on stage first? Please give them a big hand.
We need to give them a big hand.
Come, please. Thank you very much for coming in. Wonderful to have you, please. All right, so I'm going to leave this to you for the next 15 minutes. All yours. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Sure, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Yeah, I think it's a very, very interesting topic which we have. One is, changing paradigm in the new IT modern workplace. I think you asked a question, why this RAM? You should wait for a session which is going to happen, probably the last session, and then the secret is out. But this new modern IT and the modern workplace, probably the question has been pondering across the board today in many organizations. It started in December 2019. We were normally working in office. We were coming to office. My workforce was in office. Large part of the organization, globally, India, all office. Coming March 2020, we hit by a pandemic. We hit by a sort of a coronavirus. And we started patching a job from remote working and so and so. Largely, we spent around almost 1.5 years to 2 years to strategize the next phase of sort of modern workplace, right? I mean, we are thinking about remotely working. We were thinking about what should be the new blueprint. There were huge, bold statements made by companies saying that we will never be working from office now. It would be more different strategies would be deployed. And now we are hearing again, back to work. Okay, so after 3 years, we have spent a huge amount of a strategy. And then again, a new strategy is formulated. A board statement have been made that people have to come back. I mean, this huge tanker taking a U-turn, is it really a U-turn or is it a change? I think the first question, Anand Babu, from you is that.
I think, thanks, Shalil. I think that's an interesting question. And again, it's very human, right? So when you are hit by a sudden problem like COVID-19, and to your point, there's always a knee-jerk reaction. The knee-jerk reaction was, how do we keep ourselves safe, right? That was the first thing. So I think people had to rush to their homes. They had to work from home, lockdown. I think we've gone through all of that. During that time, I think there's a lot of innovation which came in. Innovation from a technology point of view, where you were leveraging collaboration platforms. You were working from remote. You were trying to find models, and you were trying to find avenues to keep yourself safe, while also making sure that some of the organizations which were trying to also fulfill the customer demands, because customers also had changed during that time. But it's again human that you want to see the change, right? Because suddenly you are comfortable, everybody is walking out, you started going out, you started looking at going for vacations to, I think you started returning back to your normal life. And all of us do realize that majority of our life, we spend our time in offices, we collaborate, we socialize. The knee-jerk reaction was more to keep ourselves safe, but the moment we felt we were comfortable, we started going back to the offices. And to your point, organization did say that we will never go back to the offices, we are shutting down our offices, all of that. I think that started changing, obviously multiple reasons to it. One, we did realize that the organization has a very basic DNA on which it runs. It's called the culture of the organization. When people started working from remote, they did realize that, or the organization did realize that people who are joining the organization, they're not really understanding the culture of the organization. So there's no affinity to the culture of the organization, which means that you're not talking the same language, especially when you're working from remote. That's number one. Number two, as far as you're working independently, it's fine to work from remote, but if you have to collaborate, you're not able to do it efficiently. Technology helped, but technology beyond a point did not help, because when we collaborate or when we communicate, the body language makes a lot of sense. And beyond a point, the window that you see during a video collaboration doesn't give you that exposure from a body language point of view. Third, social animals have to interact. Social animals, a lot of watercolor conversations which people started missing on. I think those happened, right? So to your point, people started getting back to the offices, one, not fully, and it will never happen. So we will not be in the same shape and size as we were back in 2019. It will always be hybrid, right? But there is a push that will happen, or there's a pull that will happen from the organizations where people want their employees to come back to the offices. And not all the jobs are as comfortable, right? 50% of the workforce that we have in the world, they have to necessarily work from offices because that's their job. A healthcare doctor cannot say that I will continue to work from home. It's not going to happen. You have to operate, you have to operate, right? So I think those changes will also, I mean, that's very obvious from that point of view.
I will have to come back to you because I have a related question there. But Diva, thanks. I want to hear, is it really a U-turn or things have changed? I think I am seeing there are 3 Ws which get impacted over the period of time. The first one is work itself. The kind of work we used to do, now we are not doing that work. I think technology is helping us to automate a large part of it. Second is workforce itself is changing. But workplace is also changing. So these 3 Ws are impacting every organization we are talking about. And the new modern workplace requires a new modern thinking. Is it really changing, or you think that we're coming back to the same normal?
It's funny, right? The more we change, the more we come back to where we were. And I'm going to use another jargon or abbreviation, right? 3 Ws, work, workplace, and workforce. PMP, right? Pre-pandemic, the world where everybody was building infrastructure and security for things which were within the 4 walls. And then you had the mid-pandemic where we threw out those walls, the perimeters vanished, right? Security leaders like Harnath and people were wondering what happened to all the rules we wrote and protecting customers and data and whatnot, where users were actually working out of their kitchens and garden and bedrooms and whatnot. And then we have this funny little world now, which is the post-pandemic world, where we have understood one thing, that the user has got used to working out of the comfort of his home. He's not going to come back in a hurry, right? Organizations want them back, all right? And I think given the workforce, the talent that we have today and keeping them engaged, I think the world has to come to terms, the organizations have to come to terms that today we have to provide this workforce work from anywhere option. And this option is not going to go away in a hurry for sure. Given the density of traffic and whatnot, we got to look at how do we enable and empower these organization employees with technology and tools that can keep them secure everywhere, every day, every second.
Sure. And, related discussion, I would call it, is we accelerated the adoption of a technology. Now, every employee, every customer, every supplier partner unconscious behavior is that they have reached into a situation that they're living in a physical world, in a nanosecond they're living in a digital world as well, right? And now shifting this world from digital to physical, physical to digital is sort of unconscious behavior now. Now, in this behavior, we have to design our own strategy for the next sort of generation to come in, employees to come in. Pros and cons both are there. One, we are hearing cons about moonlighting, and we're talking about, lip syncing of interviews happening from home and people getting hired there. But also we are looking at bringing new talent into the ecosystem, high degree of collaboration happening. I think this is sort of a strategy, but how do we balance it? How do we bring this balance? Security is the biggest issue today we are looking at it. So the first is, how do we enable that security becomes a trusting environment, not a zero trust? I don't know where this comes from, but how is trust coming across?
Yeah, I think having spent 25 years in cybersecurity, I can tell you that security, unlike technology, right, specifically, is a very cat and mouse game, which means that you build something to beat something and somebody else builds something else after that. Which is why the reason today is that the age-old strategy of going and securing organizations using the traditional networking approach, operating system approach, they have failed, right? People build good softwares, but not secure softwares. People build good networks, but not secure networks. The question really is, are you able to really work with the best of the breed in making sure that you can have the latest and greatest next generation technologies and things like that, which help you stay on top of what the hackers are trying to do? Because the reality is this, there are bad people everywhere, right? In real world as well as in the digital world. They're going to vanish. In fact, they get even more advantages in the digital world given the anonymity and whatnot. And hence, it's important that a population like ours, and I think the earlier speaker spoke very well about the Indian leadership on technology front coming in, is we have almost 500 million youth who today understand English, they know coding, and they have access to all tools that are freely available to hack anything and everything they want. How do you then, and leaders like Harnath, put in place controls in process, people, and technology to actually keep yourself immune from these attacks?
Absolutely. And related question to you from a security perspective. Your organization, KPMG, is a powerhouse. It's a global organization. I think large part of the discussion is IP-oriented discussion, data, in fact. And you're now enabling hybrid work environment. You're enabling new modern IT workplaces for the people. It will cause some pain. It will cause some change in the organization. First, I want to understand, is it really a pain or is it really a new strategy which is formulating at your end?
So I think if I have to see it if I have to take a customer angle, if I have to take the client angle, right? So the very reason I work with an organization like KPMG is because I trust the brand. I trust that the organization is securing my data which is coming in. And again, it's this critical and sensitive information that is with me. So obviously I have to stand by the trust that's there, right? So there is sensitivity in the organization that customer information or the information of the organization is of utmost importance, and it's a zero tolerance in terms of having the data not being secure. That's number one. Number two, making sure that, and again, we are in the world where we are asking our people to work from wherever they could be working from client locations, at home, at offices. So it's a completely spread out environment, and I call this as the candles in the wind, right? So every employee who's out, he's susceptible to a potential attack by and anybody could, and there are multiple ways of getting the information out, social engineering to malwares to whatever that may be, right? Now, it's important for people to understand, and again, at all the 3 points, right? People, process, and technology. So, making sure that your people understand the importance of security. The processes are built such that we are ensuring that our systems are protected. Any system that we roll out, be it for our own consumption or for our clients, is not rolled out unless it's secured by all the measures that we have. And the tech itself, right? So we've been bringing a lot of technology, which is ensuring that and again, to your point, right, Diva's point, it's always a cat and mouse game. So you have a leak coming in, you want to patch it. So it's like always, I'm not suggesting it's a band-aid solution, but you have to comprehensively think of security, right? So we've been investing both efforts and money and time to make sure that our data and information is secure. And there are multiple, and it's not a small answer that I can give you. It's a whole strategy that we have. And the most important thing for us is the buy-in from the top. Anything that we do from a security point, any major decisions that we take from a security point of view, there's a buy-in from the top. So the resistance is the minimal.
In fact, security is a topic which is a boardroom discussion now. And I think it's a mandatory point or an item where data privacy, location of the data sovereignty is kind of discussed on the board side. While we are driving our strategies around security, enabling our workforces, I think 3 things have become very important, like 3 Ws, I will say 3 Es. The first one is knowing the expectations, whether my customers, whether my employees, or whether my suppliers. The second is creating and enabling sort of experiences around it, right? So even if at a Netflix, there is a slight buffer, you would switch it off. You don't do it, right? So everything matters a lot. And the third thing is actually engagement. And today, from a physical to a digital, digital to physical, everybody requires a seamless experience, which means physically we can't do it. We don't have resources, we don't have people, we don't have skill set to do such kind of mandate in the organization. You're looking for automation, you're looking for artificial intelligence. Where do you think the needle is moving towards?
So I think be it managing your own organizations from different processes that you have, or securing the organization or working with clients, I think innovation is one of the key elements that we have imbibed in our own, organization as a DNA. Obviously, you can't have similar conversation with your clients what used to be in the past, right? So you can't say that I'll show you a nice presentation or PPT and your job is done. It doesn't work like that. My clients are digitized today, and those customers also have to be spoken in their language, right? So I can't interface with their technology systems if I'm not automated by myself. That means the innovation, number one, has to work. Number two, technologies like AI and machine learning, they are being implemented. In fact, just before the session, I was having a conversation with someone. We are experimenting with everything which is new that is coming in AI, because today we are in a business which is supposed to be advising our clients. We are in a business where we are to look at their data and tell them what's the value added services that we can give to them. So investing in the emerging technologies, be it metaverse, be it AI machine learning, or be it ensuring that we are investing the right right amount of efforts in building cloud solutions. I think we've been going in the direction, to your point. When you do all of this, it's important to also consider security by design and privacy by design, right? Anything that we are doing, it's with both these elements coming into play.
Completely agree. I think, I'm going to pass that question to you as well. You are a unicorn. You are a disruptor into the market, right?
Yep.
But there are maybe 2,000 plus vendors, partners who are probably talking the same language today. Okay? I mean, AI is more abused today than actually done, frankly speaking, right? I want to understand, how do you solve problems which automation, problems like building an intelligence organization, security around it? I mean, what's the unique point there?
Sure, and I think time's up, so I keep it really short and simple.
I'm seeing time's up a lot,
I'll keep it very short and simple. I'm sure if you take a pick of hands, everybody here in any organization, there are two categories. Either they all got breached and they know about it, or they don't know still that they got breached. So whatever 1,000 vendors are offering, all that bullshit is not working, because otherwise the top banks, the top government, defense, they wouldn't be breached today. That's number one. Number two is, I represent an Israeli company. The CEO is a hacker from the Israel defense. We made a product that basically patented a couple of stuff, but things like rollback of encryption of ransomware. These are very cool tech, right? And I think the point made by Harnath is, we use AI and ML to produce the product that we've produced, which primarily helps defend companies and organizations against machines. Today you're not fighting people. On the other side, they're just bots running out and trying their luck, right? If you're still using the old people technology adhesive, I think you're outdated pretty much, which is the problem with most Indian companies. They have legacy products, legacy platforms, fossilized security architecture, which is completely outdated, Jurassic Park times. They need to move to AI and ML-based technologies that actually can deliver that. I think we've done a great job so far, and working with Lenovo, we've been able to really, with a lot of humility, be able to offer this to a lot of customers here in India and more than 10,000 customers across the world.
It's I would say it's a very big pain remover for our organization. If I can sleep at night as a chief information officer, as a CEO, as a board member, that I'm well secured, I'm enabled my organization, I've created a highway where they can innovate more, they can build digital organization, they can expand geographically. I think that's the way to go forward. Time is up. I can definitely ask 10 more questions, but I'm sure Chandrika is going to beat me if I do that. But you want to add something?
10 seconds. Usually when I present, I have only one slide where I start with. That's a slide of a picture of a baby sleeping. That's what we want our CIOs to do. Sleep peacefully at night, knowing that we protect them safely. Thank you.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much for the time today. And thank you for sharing the insights. Thank you very much, Anand. Thank you, Lord.